Well, hello, folks. My name is Chris McDowell. I'm one of the national account managers here at Hayes Software Systems. I've been with Hayes a little over 3 years, and I cover states across the country, but with a focus on states in the North Central and Northwest. We also have a partner with me here moderating the chat, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm our channel account manager here at Hayes Software, working with our partner CDW today.
Awesome. So first of all, thank you everyone for taking the time to attend this webinar. And I'd also like to specifically thank CEW for inviting us here to talk with all of you today about Hayes Software, asset management, help desk, and physical inventory for K-12 districts. Now, our hope today is that this webinar will be a very interactive process. So we're looking for questions and comments from you folks. So as you have those, submit those in the chat, and Danielle will alert me as they come in, and I will answer them as we go along. So as we dive in, I'd like to give you an introduction to who we are and where we're coming from and why we feel we are uniquely experienced as the leaders in K-12 asset management. Hayes Software Systems was founded in 1990. We've just celebrated our 30th birthday, in fact. We were founded by an educational professional named Gene Hayes, who was a tenured principal, assistant principal, administrator at the K-12 level for many years. And during his time there, he recognized a need for a more efficient way to manage instructional materials at school districts. So when he retired, he founded the company with his son, Michael. And we started primarily as a textbook and inventory management solution. And as times changed and technology became more and more prevalent in schools, and districts began asking for the ability to track those assets in a specialized manner, well, we pivoted and we launched a second platform called TipWeb IT. And that is one of the things we're going to talk about today. Soon after that, I'd say probably about 3, maybe 4 years ago, districts they came back to us asking again if we had a solution for managing help desk tickets. And not only that, that would share information with their inventory system. So we launched Get Help, a fully integrated help desk platform that communicates and shares data with TipWeb IT. And we're going to touch on that solution for you as well today. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit about physical inventory, how often you do that, a full count of everything in the district, what your processes are, and how we can help in that area as well. So Hayes is based here in Austin, Texas, and for 30 years, we've done nothing but build asset management solutions for K-12 specifically. Our tools are used in more than 500 districts across the country, nearly 8,000 campuses. We work very closely with these districts of ours. We listen to them and we tailor our solutions to their specific needs. And that's how we've grown to be the #1 ed tech platform in K-12, because schools are our only focus. We don't do anything else. So today we're going to be talking about some best practices and some tips for improving your asset management solutions. And before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a little bit of a closer look at some of our tools. So meet TipWeb IT. TipWeb IT, as I just mentioned, is our asset management system for technology assets. With TipWeb IT, you can manage the entire life cycle of those assets with a solution that gives you confidence in your inventory data, everything from comprehensive and granular but easy to build and easy to use reporting, checking devices in and out to students and staff, maintaining accurate and healthy data, planning for future refreshes, and supporting those devices in remote learning. These are all things that TipWeb IT can help you with. So TipWeb IT allows you to integrate with your student information system and your HR systems. So you can eliminate a lot of manual duplicate entry and automatically pull that data, your student and staff data, into the system. Our software also simplifies audits, the audit process, and tracks devices that require special funding compliance, things like E-rate and Title I. We give administrators complete control of the inventory records. You have a kind of a bird's eye view from the district level, and you can assign permissions as to who can view or make changes to certain inventory, perhaps those special funding assets that we talked about. You can even isolate access by department to keep those siloed so that they don't interfere with each other. And when it comes to reporting, TIPWeb IT makes it very easy to report what you own, where it's located, and how it's being used. So Danielle is signaling to me that we might have a question.
Yes, Chris, I've got one question that just got dropped in the chat. Someone's curious about whether or not we have RFID capabilities.
Yes, we do. The audit process that I mentioned, we do support using RFID tags for that. That capability is built into the software. The licensing for that is built in. It's no additional charge. How RFID works with TIPWeb IT is in the audit process. And it's not something that you would use to assign devices or transfer devices between students or rooms. That would still be done with the barcode. But with the addition of an RFID tag on your assets, that greatly speeds up the audit process. For example, say you have a laptop cart full of 30 Chromebooks. It might take 10, 15 minutes to pull each device out, scan it, plug it back in, and then move on to the next one. With RFID tags, you would simply open that card up, you wave the RFID scanner in the area, and it's going to suck in all those RFID tags and count those very, very quickly in a matter of seconds rather than minutes. So that is how RFID would work with TIPWeb IT. And as I said, it does come built in, included with the license. Okay. I'm also going to show you a little bit about Get Help. That is the help desk system. This is our newest addition to our product line. Get Help is going to let you manage help desk tickets with a lot of efficiency and ease with an integrated cloud-based platform. Students and staff can create tickets themselves via a very intuitive, easy-to-use user portal. Now, I know some districts still prefer to have technicians create the tickets themselves. We obviously do support that and make that very easy to do. We also enable tickets to be created by email submission. The centerpiece of Get Help, though, is the user portal. We make it very easy for students and staff to create their own tickets. And I understand Danielle is telling me she has a question as well. What you got?
Yes, sir. Another person just wanted to know, how does that user portal work?
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that in a minute here, but basically because Get Help is communicating and pulling data from TIPWeb IT, when the student or staff member logs into the user portal, the Get Help knows what devices that student or staff member already has. So it presents a selection of those devices to them. Are you having an issue with your Chromebook, or if it's a teacher, maybe the projector? And it prompts them step by step to build the ticket with that device, again, pulling that data in from TIPWeb IT. So there's no, the student or staff member doesn't have the chance to get the serial number wrong or forget to enter the serial number or decide which device it is that they're actually getting support on. The system knows what devices they already have. So that's going to speed up that process and make it a lot more accurate as well for the technician. Great question, by the way. So we like to think of TIPWeb and Get Help working together to form a dynamic duo, for lack of a better term. Like Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly, they're better together. So we're going to talk about some best practices and explore 5 different ways that joining these two systems together can help your district become more efficient. Number 1, when it comes to ticket history in your inventory system, being able to see key asset information in your help desk allows for your technicians to move a little quicker. And this is what I was talking about with the user portal and the integration with TIPWeb IT. Inventory, a lot of people might not realize if they're not working in the department, that inventory is a huge part of the technician's day. Before they can start working on a device, they need to figure out where it is, who it came from, what its history has. And that means they're bouncing back and forth between your inventory system and the help desk to get the information they need and pull it over. By eliminating that need, because Get Help is integrated with TIPWeb IT, by eliminating the need to jump between those two systems to accurately solve and track the asset, you're saving them a lot of time. Get Help is able to get from TIPWeb IT information and details such as the site, the room number, who it's assigned to, obviously the serial number, tag number, product type, again, without having to bounce between 2 different systems. So because of that integration with TIPWeb IT, you're able to see as well how many times a ticket has been submitted on a specific device, what status the device is in, and also very importantly, it's going to give you the history, how many times that's been sent in for support. Maybe we're talking about a serial breaker of devices. Now, I know this may come as earth-shattering news, but serial breakers of devices are a very common thing when dealing with K through 12 students. So being able to see these breakages and charge for them when you're able to do that are things that really set TipWeb IT and GitHelp apart. For example, we make it easy to record, track, and collect payments from students and parents for damages, but let's say your district has a policy of not collecting monetary payments for that. I talk to districts all the time that say we would like to be able to do that, but whatever policy has been set down, we can't actually do it. Well, with TipWeb IT and GitHelp, you'll still be able to record that incident history for recording damages from a student. So if Johnny is one of those serial breakers, maybe he gets a refurb device next year instead of a brand new one. It's just another way we're putting information in your hands to make good decisions for your district. Now, at this point, I realize I've been talking quite a bit, so let me reiterate. I'm not talking very well, it just turns out. Let me reiterate that please feel free to submit questions and comments in the chat. Danielle is there to forward those on, and we'll make sure to get those questions answered for you as quickly as possible. Now, because Hayes has such a deep understanding of K through 12 and the needs that they have, we understand the importance of accurate reporting, especially when it comes to device history. A good example of where expertise has come into play is not too long ago, one of our districts that has TipWeb IT and GitHelp was actually able to prove a lemon law case because of the reporting that we provided them. This district technology department noticed trends in a certain kind of device that was constantly breaking and breaking in the exact same way repeatedly. And he was able to, rather than just take the loss on replacing all these devices, this technician was able to pull reporting from GitHelp and TipWeb IT to show the pattern of and history of breakages. And they sent that data on to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer ended up replacing all those assets at no charge under one of the lemon laws that are in place around the country now. So that's a great tangible example of how we can help you out, and how good data and good reporting can end up saving the district a lot of money. Next, number 3, as I alluded to earlier, being able to see asset details on a specific ticket is going to help your technicians know what they're looking at before they even step foot in the classroom, so they know ahead of time they're armed with what they need to have. Again, due to the connection between the inventory and the help desk system, the end users are going to have the capability to choose the asset in the user portal when they're submitting their ticket, the user portal that I was telling you about before. So in addition to making the ticket easier to submit, faster to submit, and a lot more accurate when it comes over, these asset details that come from TipWeb IT are going to allow your technician to make decisions a lot quicker before they even start on the ticket. Maybe they need to order parts ahead of time. Maybe they need to bring a certain set of tools to the job, or just bring in a loaner device to swap out. The point being, because the technician has all this data ahead of time before they even start on the ticket, they don't show up there unprepared and have to go back and then delaying the ticket getting started. So we're going to help streamline that process quite a bit. Now, I talked about before how important reporting is in TipWeb IT. It's also very important on the help desk side, and we provide that for you with GitHelp Analytics. With the powerful reporting features that we have in TipWeb IT and GitHelp, you can run customizable reports that identify bottlenecks, help technicians streamline their workflow, and manage their workload more efficiently. You'll be able to, you can use these reports to identify trends, identify maybe which are going to need some more support. Maybe they're not getting through their workload fast enough. And in contrast, maybe these analytics reports are going to help you identify your star performers on technicians. Maybe they can help other technicians get up to speed, or maybe they can actually just take on more workload themselves because they've shown they can do it. But this is data that we're going to put in your hands, and it's very easy to build and pull with analytics in GitHelp. In TipWeb IT, we know that there are many reports that other folks in the districts need to be able to see from time to time. So we make it very easy to email those reports out to other people in the district that need to see them. And taking that a step further, you can even automate that process so reports get emailed out on a regular schedule, even to folks that aren't even users of the system. So that's a very powerful tool to have, and we make it very easy to do. Another last best practice I want to talk about on the help desk side is ticket routing. Raise your hand. I know this is kind of virtual, but raise your hand if you are you one of the districts that still manages to manually route your tickets. I talk to districts all the time where the ticket comes in, and then the administrator or the director reviews what each ticket is, what it's for, what the problem is, and then they decide this one needs to go to this technician or this technician. Well, that's another bottleneck, and we're all about eliminating bottlenecks wherever we can. So we make it very easy for you to set up rules to automatically route tickets to certain technicians or groups of technicians. We allow you to route those tickets by device type, campus location, or maybe the specific problem type. And in addition to that, we also allow you to create, first of all, we let you create unlimited problem types. There are no limit to how many of those you can create. But taking that a step further, we allow you to then create problem subtypes. So if it's a Chromebook, okay, there's your type, but then the subtype, and then break it down from there. And these cascading tiers of subtypes open the door to even more detailed customization. We already have built-in customizable ticket creation templates, allowing you to define specific custom fields based on the problem types the staff member or the student selects. And we'd be happy to talk to you more about that if you have questions there. Now, your district custom, I'm sorry, Danielle.
Sorry, when you were talking about those subtypes, I had someone pop in the chat really quickly. How many subtypes can you have?
Oh, great question, and I should have mentioned that. You can have up to 3 subtypes under those problem types, unlimited problem types, and then each of those problem types can have 3 subtypes. So you can customize those to prompt even more accurate information so your team can resolve tickets even faster. And so we just to fine tune that routing process so the ticket goes directly to the correct technician without having to sit in limbo waiting to be assigned. It automatically, the student or staff member creates the ticket, and boom, the end technician has it in their hand. Great question, great question. So obviously supporting I've talked a lot about the software that we provide, but supporting your district is about a lot more than just software. When you integrate your help desk and your asset management platforms, you also incorporate some, you can incorporate some best practices across the board to ensure success. So let's talk about some of those best practices. That's a great graphic, by the way, Batman and Robin. I love our company. We do fun things. So one of the things that we can help you do is define service level agreement, or SLA targets. And this lets you define, as it says on the slide, very simply, what your users consider urgent, critical, and low priority time items. You can set time-based ranges and develop the terminology and nomenclature used across the district. It's very important to point out that left to their own devices, a lot of users are going to always tag their problem as urgent, critical. So we let you customize the terminology. We also let you override that selection perhaps, or maybe even remove some of those options entirely. And so it's completely customizable based on your needs and your experience. But the bottom line is that by designating these SLAs, your technicians will spend a lot less time interpreting incoming tickets, what's really critical, what's not, and they'll instead, from the get-go, have a realistic expectation of how time-sensitive each ticket's resolution will be. And this is something we can consult with you on and help you create. Another best practice is a knowledge base. Now, again, virtually, raise your hand if you've ever tried to solve a problem based on searching through a knowledge base. One of the things I hear, and we hear quite a bit, is there's some resistance to knowledge bases sometimes because they have a perception of being a lot of work to keep up, and users don't want to use them. They don't want to go through the effort. They won't, search through the different data databases for the most part. And we get it. And so when we decided we wanted to go down the route of building a knowledge base, we decided we were going to do it very differently. We're going to make it a lot easier to use, to encourage people to use it, to make it easy for end users. Again, this is all what we're about. You can have the greatest tools in the world, but if it's not easy to use, then people aren't going to get any advantage out of it. So instead of having to go to a separate portal or a separate search area to look for an article, what we do is, as the end user is creating the ticket in GitHelp, the available help desk or knowledge base articles that apply to that particular issue, they're going to auto-populate based on keywords as the user is typing in the substance of the ticket. So for example, a student is having a problem resetting their password on their device. So they begin to start the ticket, and as soon as the software sees they typed password, on the right-hand side of the screen, several little article headers are going to pop up that could be potential solutions for their problem. And then they end up, maybe they're able to go through an article and find a very easy way to solve it themselves, maybe without even creating a ticket. In fact, in districts who have implemented the knowledge base in our system, we've seen districts that have recorded a 25% reduction in the number of tickets when the end user has the opportunity to help themselves, especially if it's a simple, easy to solve problem, and the technicians don't get bogged down in tickets like that. Again, just streamlining the entire process. And that's another thing that we can help you implement when you come on board with GitHelp and TipoIT. Now, we talked before about routing tickets and how easy that is to do. And the way it is, to talk a little bit more about that, we make it very easy to route tickets to a specific technician based on, for example, product type. And information on product type, again, comes from the data fields in TipoIT, the many different data fields that we track on each and every device. And because that information is coming over from TipoIT, it's very easy and intuitive to implement ticket routing in GitHelp. It's a very simple system. There's drop-down selections. You select like if this, then this, then this, then this, and it goes to a certain technician or a group of technicians. And the idea behind this, as it says on the slide, that is if you have service groups who are standardized in certain products, and that's where their experience is, that's where that's up their alley, that's going to make your support staff as a whole a lot more efficient by narrowing the number and types of devices that they each support. Let them specialize in certain things, and it tends to speed up the whole process. And again, this is something I'd be happy to talk to you more in depth. My contact info will be here along shortly. Feel free to reach out. And of course, if you have any questions, you can submit them in the chat as well. If you come up right now, I'll be happy to take care of those for you. Finally, I mentioned customizing ticket templates. We talked before about how a student it's very easy for a student to create a ticket through the user portal. It prompts them for the device they're having a problem with. It asks what the problem is, and they describe the problem, and the ticket gets created. During that process, you as a district have the ability to customize the ticket template so that you can ensure that important information is included in those tickets. You can make certain fields required and not skippable. And the idea behind this is to make sure, use these critical fields, and again, those fields are pulled from the database from TipoIT into GitHelp, using those fields so that the technician doesn't have to return to the user for follow-up information. Coming back for more info, we want to streamline that process and get the ticket resolved as soon as possible. And to do that, we make it easier on the technician. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk to you today about, and we're just going to touch on it briefly, is inventory services. You all love them. It's a necessary evil. You have to go through the district a certain amount of times, maybe annually, to do a complete physical inventory, counting every asset in the district. So again, virtual raise of hands. Think about this. How many of you are doing a physical inventory every single year? Probably supposed to, but not everybody does it, and there's many reasons for not getting to it. It's time, manpower, and just not even knowing where to start. But when is the last time you did a floor-to-ceiling physical inventory count across your district? Think about how long that took. How many man hours did it require? How many people did it require? Most importantly, is it something that you look forward to doing? Well, we can help you. We can send out a team. This is a third-party, unaffiliated, unbiased team to go out there and do a complete, as I said, floor-to-ceiling inventory of assets across the district. We can make sure that every asset is tagged. We can scan it into TipWeb IT for you, so you have a good baseline of data to start the year off. And just kind of do a general once-over. Make sure the devices are in good working order, tags are in place, install new tags if needed. If you have a new shipment of devices that have come in that have not been tagged yet, we can actually talk about getting those tags on there for you while the team is out there. And so a whole lot of different options, basically just kind of take a time-consuming but necessary process off of your hands and make it a lot more efficient, a lot faster, and at the end of the day, with accuracy that you can count on in the data. So again, that is something we'd be happy to talk with you about. So feel free to reach out through Danielle in the chat or directly to me, and we'll be happy to talk more about that and how we can help you. Now at this point, again, I want to thank CDW for inviting us to present this webinar and this information to you. I hope that it's been helpful so far. I've seen a couple of really good questions so far in the chat. Keep those coming. My email address will be coming up shortly. Feel free to send those directly to me, and I'll be happy to either answer them myself or get an answer for you. But thanks again to CDW, and I want to turn it over to Danielle, who works closely with CDW, to talk a little bit about our partnership with them.
Thank you, Chris. And yes, thanks to our partner CDWG, who's also able to help districts with your device and asset management needs through vendors such as ourselves. They also have flexible purchasing options and contract vehicles to where they can do different payments, including net 30 terms and financing through vetted leasing and finance partners. So with their inventory available, they do have a wide percentage of Chromebooks available, and they have other orders across various OEM partners to help meet that current demand. With one-to-one learning, we're having a lot of devices being remotely issued to students and staff, whether it's in a completely remote environment or hybrid. They also are able to have reporting and e-commerce and e-procurement integrations. With any mass purchase orders, you can even upload those into Hayes' software solution, eliminating an additional step that might help that inventory management process just a little bit more streamlined and consolidated. So with your CDWG representatives, feel free to reach out to them as well. They can help give you access to other tech experts, such as Hayes Software and other people in the space. And we're more than happy to provide you with any information you might need to. So Chris, I'll pass it back over to you so you can provide that contact information for yourself, as well as the districts that we've also helped serve nationally.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, I want to take a moment to just kind of reiterate that this is who we are. This is what we do. We don't do anything else except support K through 12 districts. I mentioned that we are in a little over 500 districts across the country. Among those districts are 35 of the top 100 largest districts in the country. A lot of these you'll obviously recognize by the logos you're seeing on your screen. But I think it's very important to also tell you that we're completely scalable. This is a web-based solution. Any device with a browser can access it. And because of our long history of K through 12 districts, we know what you need. We've been there, we've done that. We're very scalable as far as district size. Yes, we work with these heavy hitters, these big districts that you know across the country, but we also have many districts that have a single campus. So the size of the district has no bearing on our level of support, our level of commitment, and the level of capability that we bring to you. We work well with districts of 100 kids all the way up to 100,000 or more, so we can do it all. On the screen there is my contact info. That's my email address, and that phone number rings directly on my desk. If you call that number, you get me, for better or worse. But feel free to call me or reach out anytime. I'll be happy, as I said, to provide any information I can, answers to your questions, and any other insights that I can provide. I look forward to working with all of you, and I wish the best, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you again to CDW. It's been a great pleasure to talk with you folks today, and I look forward to seeing you down the road.